Hello, Commander.
Game has started, and we are in a N3on. Woo! He's so pretty. So, I mean, very obvious starts: north, south, east, west. Gotta check that terminal velocity of the wind. And let's get this shindig started. Ladies and gentlemen, spawning in on the main screen. He might be using the Armless Commander, but he's actually a monkey and a soldier at heart. It is the White Commander Monkey Soldier going for a very... Wow, okay, so we have a very obvious air opening here. Double air, which makes sense as mobility is going to be the name of the game. And as you can see, I mean, this is basically... It's just a game of chutes and ladders. Who controls which point, basically. Ironically enough, this is actually going to be a... you know, usually you can kind of like see where players like to kind of like go, or where they want to kind of like send their units. On a map like this, it's basically a game of chutes and ladders. You really don't know who is, you know, which way is going to go. So I can't really tell you, oh, they're going to go this way or they're going to go, because everything is literally identical. Now, I still haven't sadly introduced the most important player on this. He's a good friend of mine. I do know him as he does hop into my stream quite often. It is... Basically, he's the clan's, he's every clan's, you know, solid player. It's N3on. I mean, this guy is a great player. Not to say that Monkey is any worse of a player. They're both in the same losers bracket for a reason, as they did lose their first game. But I have to root for my man N3on. I gotta. So, with that being said, we do have both players opening with a bot into air opening, which is, again, fairly solid, or fairly standard. We do have commanders getting reclaimed on, well, actually only on one side, which, as you can see, economically. Now, here is the thing. We are going to be a lot more critical of this match, as this is the, I guess you could say, the advanced players. I'm not going to say pro, as neither of these players make a living off of planetary annihilation, though hopefully one day we will get to see that. This is basically like, we are seeing a very high platinum, low uber ranked match. So for those of you that do not know what that is, you have, I believe, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and then uber being the highest rank a player can achieve in a 1v1 rank. And both of these guys are very high platinum, low uber players. They play casually, but when they 1v1, they basically play competitively. You know, they're kind of like those competitive casuals where it's like they like playing the game and they love doing 1v1s, and they kind of like say that they don't, you know, they don't mind losing, but really, you know, low key they really like winning, and they kind of just like knowing that they're better than other people. But we'll see. You know, it's anyone's game. Ironically enough, they both kind of found each other. N3on actually being the one of the two to actually get away. His energy has just been very bad, to say the least, and both players actually having some serious energy issues. And as you can see, both players working on that energy game. I mean, neither one is even building many units. It's just energy, 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 energy. Energy is the name of the game for these guys, and now they begin to float, which you never want to do. Commanders continue to get constantly reclaimed, and now they are just wasting their commander's health. And actually N3on, and I do believe, yep, oh wait, no, commander getting triple reclaimed here by Monkey Soldier. You never ever want to float, and have your units reclaiming your commander, as it's just bad news bears. But air units, I mean, they are the name of the game on this map. Bots will be important, but we will probably just see some kind of early aggression bots. It will not be like, I am going to go mass bots. It's going to be more of like a, I'm going to use these bots to try and maybe pick off a fabricator or two, and then use that to my advantage later on in the game. But we will most likely see a very heavy air units, and then to probably some sort of very quick tier 2 transition as the game kind of progresses, as... You know, the bots are very good, but if one of your opponents has some sort of advantage over you, say it is in the air, you're just gonna have a bad time, simply put. Now, a lot of Monkey Soldier's bombers gonna come in here and just clean up all of these metal extractors. Hasn't seen the fabricator, which is actually kind of a big deal, as this fabricator is still building metal extractors to keep N3on's economy alive, and he is ahead of his opponent and isn't floating, which is fantastic because that means he's using all of those resources very efficiently, where Monkey Soldier is only floating, so he's using the same amount as N3on, but he's losing resources, so that means his production, he could be producing a lot more than what he is currently running on, so he probably needs about 2 more factories to be in that quote-unquote perfect 100% range, which, again, in a advanced match like this, it does matter a lot. You know, you can kind of get away with it. It's a bit of a slap on the hands instead of where if we were watching like a Uber level match, if you float, that basically means you lose. You go below 100%, basically means you're going to lose. If you sneeze wrong while you're trying to micro your docks, basically means you're going to lose. It really kind of depends on how, you know, it really matters with what you do. You have to do everything just perfectly, and though we are not exactly at that stage, we are just about as close as we can get. A lot of Hummingbirds just trying to figure out where this air army is. Doesn't quite see it just yet, and actually he should see it by this one bomber flying around. N3on does realize that this is a thing and is going to start closing in. Does get the bomber, which is basically the important part of this entire air army, and actually has a fairly solid trade here with most of the Hummingbirds from Monkey Soldier being away from the main fight while N3on's entire air army was in one position. Now, as you can see, bombers just going to destroy these sparks. They do survive 1 pass, but 2 pass, 3 pass, it's not going to happen. X marks the spot where all of those sparks do die, and it's just ugly. Now, it's basically going to be a matter of who can actually secure a pad, and right now, N3on does have one sort of to himself. He's got half of one, as you can see, but Monkey Soldier is just trying to get some security over these 2, which is a very big deal. Tier 2 also going up for Monkey, and Tier 2, so we have a bit of a change here. So we have N3on going for Tier 2 bots, which is perfectly fine. I am totally fine with this. The problem with this, though, is Slammers do not fight nearly as well as Tier 2 vehicles, which are called levelers. And because of this, if we see a very prolonged kind of style game coming out here from both players, then that means N3on will either eventually have to get Tier 2 vehicles, or he will simply, again, he will just lose immediately. As if we see a giant leveler army with plenty of anti-air that, you know, will stop any sort of bomber play, and N3on just simply has to fight that army, if all he has is slammers, he will lose. The levelers have just so much health and upfront damage that the slammers are not just able to chip and take out those units quick enough, and it can quickly fall to N3on's disadvantage. Now, we do see a bit of an economic lead here. It's only about 34 or like 35, 40-ish metal, give or take some metal. I mean, I'm not gonna try and do stream math. It's just never a good idea. But we do see quite a few air fabricators starting to move out here for Monkey Soldier, which is very good to see, as that means he feels confident enough to start building fabricators and start having them capture some of these metal extractors, which is fantastic to see. Some of the bombers actually now starting to get some work done here, as a lot of the there isn't actually much anti-air here to protect these bombers, and N3on kind of realizes that he's like, yo, I want to get some of these, and oh. Now, what you saw there wasn't like, oh, I'm just going to suicide my units. What it was is Monkey Soldier was actually sending his bombers away, but because Hummingbirds are faster than bombers, he was trying to kind of like delay how many Hummingbirds would actually meet his bombers before his bomber army got in range. Now, we do see a lot, and I mean a lot in the sense that there is so many that N3on is actually going to scout Monkey Soldier's entire base and get away with it, which is a very big deal, as he knows exactly what's going on here. Docks actually pushed, I think they went around. I think we saw like a bit of that like MC shuffle kind of up the sides and around. So we didn't actually receive any. Slammer's going to set up here. There are some docks in N3on's base, but at the same time, there are also some docks in Monkey Soldier's base. So both players kind of just starting to say hello to each other in a very physical and personal manner. But at the same time, the real question is who will be taking the most damage between the two. And my personal opinion on this one will be Monkey Soldier, because N3on does have a lot of docks still in his arsenal and has plenty of anti-air to protect them. Slammers are also making their way downtown, waddling fast, and they're doom-bound. I think he is actually going to try and like maybe do like a meet-up, like a meet and greet with some of these docks up here, which is very cool to see. But at the same time, there are docks actually everywhere in N3on's base, and he doesn't have many of the metal extractors inside his own base under control right now, as we do see that a lot of Monkey Soldier's units he does have a few more of the metal structures that are still standing, and tier 2 is actually going up here very quickly. Storm's going up. I like this decision. I mean, tier 2 anti-air is just very, very important, especially when your opponent has a lot of tier 1. Slammers are now inside the base of Monkey Soldier, and this is a big deal. These two Slammers, if kept alive, can do some very serious damage. Shoot down all of these energy plants, it's going to have a bad time. The tier 2 Fabricator getting sniped, you're going to have a bad time. I mean, it's just very bad news bears if N3on is allowed to keep this Slammer alive. And actually, if he really wanted to, he could drop his Slammer right about here. Forget this commander. There's no need to try and be aggressive. Exactly. Go for the tier 2. That makes your commander, that makes your opponent strong. At the same time, though, we do see Docs inside N3on's base, so we do have a bit of a base trade situation going on here. The Hummingbirds are just getting picked off by the commander right now. Slammers doing tons of damage. These Slammers, if kept alive, will be able to kill off all of the units that are inside a Monkey Soldier's base. N3on did clean up most of the Docs inside of his own base. I don't believe he lost many, if any, units. I think he only lost most of his metal extractors, which does stink, but he does, well, actually, I mean, it's not too bad that Monkey Soldier's only losing energy, as energy isn't nearly as fickle as it used to be. But if that tier 2 energy plant goes down, Monkey Soldier is going to have one heck of a bad time. I mean, it's going to be a really bad time, as this is basically the only thing that's keeping a lot of these energy plants alive currently. There is, like, this little cute bank here, but again, if that goes down, that's a very big deal. So the trade did come out. Both players, I mean, handled it very well. I would say that if I was playing this, I probably would have panicked and had my commander chasing everything, but both players playing very well. So now the real question is, how do they kind of continue on in this game? N3on did, because he lost all of his metal extractors in the earlier stages of that, he did lose a lot of his metal income, which is obviously a very big deal. And as we can see, Monkey Soldier is actually really starting to take over these lanes here. And I mean, as you can see, economically, N3on is still staying up, but that is also because a lot of his internal metal extractors are at tier 2. And with a island or a map that is identical like this, it's a very big deal to have just more metal outside your base than inside, as you can kind of generally control a lot more. Now, we do see another big Slammer push here from N3on, and I don't think this will well, this is actually quite a few units here. And if, yeah, Monkey Soldier needs to be very careful. He needs to start getting some levelers out, not tier 2 fabricators, because these Slammers are going to just destroy all of the production. Oh my goodness, N3on is just all over this base right now. Yes, Monkey Soldier has the economy, but he doesn't have the production. Bombers are trying to get out here, but these bombers will not come out nearly in time. Monkey Soldier's been completely surrounded. He needs to get some levelers out immediately, or he will die. And has the upset happened here? Holy cow. I thought the leveler always trumps the Slammer, but the Slammers trump the units, the buildings, the commander. These Slammers are going to be coming in here for the kill, and N3on should be able to kill this commander if he micros it properly. Monkey Soldier not firing the Uber just yet. I think he is in the mindset that there are boom bots somewhere on this map. He's gonna try and just chase these units into an advantageous position. This leveler needs to get out, but with this tier 2 going down, I think it might be the end of the game for Monkey Soldier, as if this goes down, he will be an entire tier down. There it goes. And now Monkey Soldier, yes, he has the economy. Actually, no, he lost all of his economy to, I think, a giant Docs run by while we were focusing on this. There is a bit of a counterattack here, but it will not be in time, as this Armorless commander will go boom, and GG. Called by N3on, GG by everyone else, and N3on takes that game. Congratulations to N3on. He will be moving on to the, well, let's take a quick little look here. He will be moving on to fight Bob Is Cool. Bob Is Cool actually being one of the spectators, so kind of getting a quick little in-game look at how his opponent does. So congratulations to N3on. You will be advancing on to the losers round 4 to fight Bob Is Cool in the Tundra.
Hey guys, it's Ghost here. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like it, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and make sure to turn up that audio, because we're about to kick it.
Goodbye. Okay, goodbye.